Welcome to Halas Hall Report, live every Saturday night at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and Sunday mornings at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Live talking Chicago Bears football with Mike the Bear Fan. And your host, Ken Dobb. Also on the panel, we have the football analyst, Woody, who is named for the Woody wrap-up on game days. Next on the panel, we have Bear Down Mike. He is the youngest, but don't be fooled. This guy knows this Bear squad. He can bring a different insight. Halas Hall Report breaks down the Chicago Bears team all year long, from the offseason through the draft. Also, the legend of tailgating, Billy Defense Flores, joins the crew live at 1st and 10 tailgating. You can find him at all home games at Soldiers Field. Also, the Bear Fan, who has been here since the first year of Halas Hall Report, welcome Bear Fan Dan, where he is known for studs and duds after every game. You can find them on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Roku if you have a TV. They are all over social media. You won't find no better sources for Chicago Bears news like injury reports, team updates for breaking news for all the good and the bad the team does. Halas Hall Report will be live for the 6th season. And they are teaming up with the best sports podcast out on social media.
This is Northeast Streaming Sports.
Go Bears!
Good morning. It's Sunday. It's not football yet. And there we got Woody, who's sitting in a place where he almost got arrested because he tried to pump his own gas. Yep, he's in Jersey, the only state in the land where you can't pump your own gas because I guess you're not able to. But then again, wearing that T-shirt he's wearing today, I can understand why the law is in place. We also have host of the Wrestling Show Mondays, Bear Fan Dan in the house. Good morning, Dan.
Morning.
And oh my God, it's Bear Down Mike. It feels like I haven't seen you in like a week or so.
Oh, it's been a busy time.
And of course, Mike the Bear Fan doing this thing in the background right now. We've got a no football Sunday. These Sundays suck. But the cool thing is, before you know it, it will be football season. Speaking of which, the topic for today, it's something we've been talking about a little bit. It's getting thrown around the media more. Yeah, you can't avoid it. They're going to force you to do it eventually. They've wanted the Bears forever. McCaskey is to keep these guys at bay. But guess what, guys? I have a feeling it's going to be time for Hard Knocks.
Yep.
Yes.
Hard Knocks.
So before we talk about it, let me give a few things here. There are 3 teams eligible under the criteria the NFL has with HBO for preseason Hard Knocks. The 3 teams that are available are the Bears, the Saints, or as I like to call them, the Aints, and of course the Broncos. So you got the Hoes, the Bears, and the Aints are the 3 available teams. And there's one other thing that I'm going to throw in there. And we don't have to talk about the game itself, but Bears had the Hall of Fame game against the Texans. Last year, the Jets had the Hall of Fame game, and guess what they were on? Hard Knocks. So, Woody, what do you think? Bears, Hard Knocks? Do they finally catch up with us and get us on their damn show?
Well, if they do, they do. But then the teams are going to spy on us, and they're going to learn our plays. I don't like it, but yeah, I like it though. Seriously, I want to see this. It's going to be interesting to see what this Chia Pet does in Hard Knocks. But yeah, I got it for free on the Fire Stick, and I can't wait to watch it.
Mike, what about you? What do you think about the Hard Knocks?
I mean, eventually it was going to happen, you know. Wasn't more compelling story to tell than the Bears, Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, who wants to watch Saints, who wants to watch Broncos except for their own fans? I mean, I think this is going to be the most viewed Hard Knocks since they started. So, and I also going to watch it for free because I got a Fire Stick as well.
Nice, Mike. Come join the service. I'll give it to you.
So, Bear Fan Dan, what do you think about this Hard Knocks noise?
All right. I mean, as I said, it makes sense with Williams and Dunze. But one thing, wasn't there a thing, a curse or something with teams that are on the Hard Knocks?
Oh, here we go. No, that's Madden cover.
Yeah, that's the Madden curse. Hard Knocks, it's an interesting distraction. I think is why most teams don't like it. They consider it a distraction. I thought the way Aaron Rodgers did it last year was great, though, because Aaron Rodgers really didn't want to do it, right? But everyone knew we'd watch because it was Aaron Rodgers. And Aaron Rodgers was Liv Schreiber, the guy who does the voiceover. He made a whole show about that, right? Oh, my God, we get to meet the voice of God. And it looks like they had fun with it, did the Jets. So the Jets, it looks like they had fun with it, and they embraced it once it happened. I'll give a lot of that credit to Aaron Rodgers because he was the one who was so vehemently against it. But then when it's like, okay, well, we're stuck like Chuck, they embraced it and they had fun with it. And it was actually fun to watch. I watched the in-season Hard Knocks with the Dolphins. That was also fun to watch. Of course, they had that epic, blowout at the end of the year and just totally that team slid. The Bears, I mean, look, you've got the whole Caleb Adunze, Keenan Allen, new OC, which goes. I don't like them, watching as we install a new offense. I'm sure they always pick a player a week. I'm sure Caleb will get picked for a week. I'm sure Montez Sweat will get picked for a week. There's some storylines, but look, let's not say the other teams don't have storylines either, right? The Hoes, Denver, they've got a storyline with Sean Payton and drafting Knicks and getting the mom chaser and rebuilding their club. They can do stuff there too. And NOLA, well, it's NOLA. HBO would love to be in the same quarter for a month, right? So
but isn't Zach Wilson? Isn't he on Denver now?
Yeah.
The mom chasers in Denver.
And it's funny how can you say about Miami slipping, at the end of the year last year. And I started laughing. I apologize that we're already down. So we only can go up.
Look, Miami was interesting. Miami was interesting last year because, if you didn't like Mike Daniels, before that, you definitely liked him after that. And I learned, Van Ginkel, like, if you didn't know who Van Ginkel was, you knew who Van Ginkel was. And you understood why he got the contract he got in the offseason. There was a lot of great stories that came out of watching the Dolphins. And they didn't slide because of Hard Knocks. They slid because of injuries and some other things. But, I don't know if it's a distraction. I think it's good storytelling. I know Rob from the Daily Show, Ken in the morning, he was like, I don't want to see the Bears on it because I don't want to like these guys, but I will if I watch it.
Ha ha, traitor.
It's like Kirk Cousins. Like, everyone's view of Kirk Cousins after he did quarterback completely changed. Right?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, well, this guy's actually could be your next door neighbor. Probably is your next door neighbor. Has just an average 4-3 home in the suburbs driving a minivan. That's Kirk Cousins. You're like, whoa, this guy's actually normal. So, Hard Knocks has a way of doing that. So I don't know. Hard Knocks.
Fucking kidding me?
Hard Knocks and the Bears, is that going to be a good marriage or a bad marriage?
Oh my God.
And is it going to happen? If I were to ask you guys right now, what are the odds? I'll just go around the panel. What do you think the three teams, what do you think the odds are Chicago gets pegged for Hard Knocks?
Good, but I have breaking news right now, and I'm ready to throw up.
Uh-oh.
I see a guy walking on the boardwalk here, and it's too far away, but I can see it. He has a Caleb Williams jersey on. Are you fucking for real? All right, I just threw up in my mouth. Okay, so I really think that it's the Bears' turn to go. Denver has really nothing there. Even Russell Wilson left, and the Saints. What are we going to look at? Derek Carr? I think this is the Bears' years and for Hard Knocks this year, and I can't wait.
Maybe another reason Spencer Rattler gets on TV again.
Well, Mike, I was about to ask you. Look at the Saints or the Broncos could always volunteer. So do you think that could be possible that some team volunteers, or the Bears just going to get tagged and that's that?
I would hope Broncos or Saints would volunteer, but I think Bears have dodged a bullet many times with this show, so the odds are not in their favor.
Now, Dan, there was an article about Hard Knocks and the selection process I saw the other day, and it did note that the old school teams like Chicago, Green Bay, the original teams, if you will, they've always had a way of dodging that bullet, like the unwritten rule that if an original six team, if you will, like to equate it to hockey terms, doesn't want to do it, they don't do it. Do you think that's like, yeah, nice try, dude, you're stuck like Chuck, and the Bears are not dodging this bullet, or do you think that there's a possibility it could be one of the other two teams?
No, I think it'll be it'll be the Bears.
Mike, the Bear fan, I know you're back there doing the ones and twos. What do you think, man? You got an opinion? You might be busy doing the ones and twos. He's busy.
If he doesn't have an opinion, I quit.
You're not allowed to quit, especially wearing that dish rag of a T-shirt you got on today.
Oh, here we go. Fucking
Yeah.
Okay, keep it going, Squeaker.
All right, Janky. So the love we have for one another on this show is
fucking son of a bitches, man.
What was the question?
Oh, the Bears on Hard Knocks. What are your thoughts? You think they're gonna get pegged, or you think one of the other teams are gonna take it?
I don't think anybody's going to volunteer. I think the Bears are just going to get it personally. They've got the most changes. We've only have one player left on our roster for the last, I think, 4 years, and that's our long snapper. So I think the Bears are going to get it personally.
So here's a question, though. Say if all three teams volunteer, like how do they do it then?
They'll be in shock because nobody's ever done it.
I don't think it's ever happened. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Dallas volunteers because Jerry Jones loves to do it, right?
They're going to look at
the height.
They're going to look at it and say, "Who's the most compelling story?"
I mean, here's the thing too.
Oh yeah, it's definitely Chicago. If Mike, if you said that's the way it's going to go, you got to look at the other two teams. I mean, supposedly, when we picked up Caleb Williams, best quarterback, and then plus we got the best punter we drafted too. I can't see that it's not the Bears this year.
And
well,
pretty much three number one wide receivers, top 10 tight end.
I mean, look at I kind of like it to make Yoli, who watches all our shows, but she's a Packer fan.
Yoli,
it's going to convert Yoli to a Bears fan. She's going to watch Hard Knocks and become a Bears fan. I mean, that's just what's going to happen.
I mean, if you know the
and she's very beautiful too, so she'd be a very beautiful Bears fan.
That's
well, if you know her brothers are all Bears fans, and she's the only Packer fan in her family. So,
yep, Yoli, we're not bringing the pressure, but we're bringing the pressure.
No, she'll become a Bears fan if we get a dome.
There's Matt. Good morning, Matt. So, Matt, we're talking about Hard Knocks and the Bears be not catch you up. We have Chad and Yoli, of course, with us this morning in the chat as well. Chad, of course, wants to let us know that Chase Claypool signed with the Bills. We talked about that yesterday a little bit. But Hard Knocks, they think about Hard Knocks opening, but Chase Claypool plays in the Hard Knocks, right? The opening segue with the voice of God, Mr. Schreiber, will be how last year's team was Chase Claypool, DJ Moore, the guys from the team last year. And then, here's what's there this year. In fact, I think we got a graphic that HBO will probably steal. And they can steal HBO. You're watching. Look at there's the intro to Hard Knocks. Last year was Justin, Herbert, Moore, Mooney, Claypool, and Scott. Now it's Williams, Swift, Moore, Allen, Odunze, Scott at wide receiver 4, and Kmet, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, right? So I mean, I could see the opening, why it's a compelling story to tell, and we've got the extra preseason game, which they love having game coverage in this show. So there'll be some great undrafted free agent rookie stories out of Chicago, because there always is with this team. I'm sure they'll talk about Bagent. I won't make us do the morning rule, because on the morning show, if you say his name, you got to sing the Secret Bagent Man song. But I'm sure they'll cover a lot about Bagent. They're going to cover Odunze. They're going to cover, the Chia Pet, is what he likes to call him, Caleb
Chia
Williams.
Chia.
I mean, there's some compelling stories, and now Reese from the Chicago Sky, she's talking about how her and Caleb are going to be our buddies. So there's some crossover there with the WNBA now. And look at, and remember, she's the ring girl, right? Not last year, but not this last one, she was taunting Caitlin when she won her women's ring. I mean, she's a personality in of herself. So it's going to be interesting, an interesting crew to watch. And then, I would have loved to see this last year in Hard Knocks with OBJ going to the Dolphins. That would have been great in season. But there's so many additions to this team, personalities now. How do you not cover the Chicago Bears? And unfortunately, I think we're just stuck like Chuck.
And that'll be one hell of a Hard Knocks and one hell of an offense if Tyler Scott learns the catch. That right there is going to be deadly. Our four wide receivers. That's going to be a deadly offense.
I just want to stake this. I don't see Velus Jones on that at all.
I said that last night, Mike. I would just keep it because he did some hell of a field position and kickoffs and punt returns. Keep him on special teams and keep him there.
He must have news on. He's got something on these guys to stay on the team.
No, but I mean, no. Woody makes a good point though. Like if you just leave him on special teams, he's okay, and that's fine. If you make him a special temer, as a special team, as a kick return, punt return guy, he was good. Anywhere else he put on the field, he was kind of like the Yankees, trashy.
Especially with these new kickoff rules too, which is stupid. But there's going to be a lot more kickoff returns for touchdowns this year.
Did you guys talk about Pittsburgh and Justin in special teams?
Yeah, about that. But the question was, and Ken's was sure, but he wasn't. He has to play 51% of the time. Is that quarterback or total?
Quarterback.
Does it specify quarterback?
It has to be a quarterback.
Does it specify it?
Yes.
I just thought it was 51% of the time on the field.
No, he has to take 51% of the snaps.
Oh, that'd be quarterback then. Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Yeah, he has to be quarterback.
I don't know.
I mean, the new rule.
The
new rules.
We're fucked.
I mean, the new rules can be interesting. Every team's gonna have an XFL around the roster for the preseason to kind of figure it out. It's going to look a lot different. We talked about this last night, Mike, when you were off doing your thing. We were talking about these rules.
Terrible time.
It's going to be, I'm like, look at, at the end of the day, it's this. Well, we need to make it more exciting again. Well, then just move the ball back 10 yards like you had it before and let them return like they used to. When Devin Hester was lighting up stadiums across the country and making it exciting to watch. Instead, let's just make it, we'll move the ball up or move they can't have a running start. There'll be no more onside kicks really. And we'll just have this funky rule which now will get more star players, returning because the less likelihood supposedly of injury. But yeah, it's just one of those, and that'll be fun to watch. Actually, I'm sure Hard Knocks will be covering how how the Bears deal with that rule changing camp with getting it ready, because that's going to be a big story this year possibly, is this new kick return rule.
I can imagine if we still had Tariq Cohen and putting him on kickoff and punt returns only, just on kickoff returns. Jesus Christ, that would be a show.
I wouldn't mind him being back on the team.
No, not for
Is he even in the league anymore?
As a gadget player, yeah, he's in Carolina.
Yeah,
as a gadget player,
the last I heard that he was on Carolina's practice squad.
Yeah. Some of those guys, So, I mean, another topic we can talk about real quick too. We kind of, reached it yesterday, but it's getting more steam in the clickbait media, as I like to call them. The little web links you see when you open up your not Internet Explorer, whatever we're calling it, the new Internet Explorer these days. Your web browser. It's Yannick Ngakoue coming back to the Bears next year.
$1 million.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think you can get him for only $1 million. Mike, can you look up his SPO-Track and see what SPO-Track says he's worth? Because I hate to say it, but SPO-Track's been deadly accurate. They predicted the Amon St. Brown contract to the penny.
Whose contract?
And Yannick.
I would just put him on.
We paid him $10 million last year, right?
We paid him 10, but he's not going to get 10 this year. I'm wondering what Spotrac says his market value is. It's probably going to be around 6.
I would put him on third down only.
Hey, I got a buddy who got a nickname for a Doomsday. He's calling him Doomsday.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Here we go.
I like it.
Hey, Mike. Hopefully, it's not Scream Pass Doomsday.
Oh God.
Oh, by the
No,
way,
unfortunately, they do not have a market value for him.
Really? They don't even have a market value. That's strange. Usually when they're free agent, they have a market value. I would think
right after the draft, usually within the first few weeks, it's kind of glitchy. So sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not.
I would think his market value is somewhere in that $5 to $6 million neighborhood, which the Bears have about 10, 15 million in cap space. Depending on what stat you look at daily.
Spotrac yesterday said 22. I know that says 28, but I think it says 22.
And I don't think, but the rookie contracts haven't come off the board yet.
That's what I'm saying. You got to wait few weeks.
15 million of it or so. I think I saw. I remember seeing a graphic pre-draft that said after the draft, the Bears should have around 10 to 12 billion. So if you could sign Ngakoue for $6 million, would you guys do it?
Yep.
I probably would wait.
Nope.
Well, his production did go up when Sweat came along. So
everyone's production.
He brought
hurt the defensive line. It's going to help it.
He brought up Justin Jones too, and look where he went.
I was hoping Justin Jones would stick around, but hey.
You too, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. I mean, he picked it up when Montez Sweat was there.
Been gone for 3 years.
I don't think the Bears were willing to pay him. The Bears weren't willing to pay Justin Jones $10 million a year.
No,
they just
not worth it.
No.
So I mean, he got overpaid. Look at he went to the school of Kirk Cousins and won free agency, right?
Yeah.
He won free agency for himself. So congratulations to Justin Jones. Great job. He got himself paid. He got them to overpay him by about $5 million a year, and he got most of it guaranteed. So he's going to get paid. I'm happy for the dude. But Yannick, I think you get Yannick for $5-6 million per year. He gets to stay in the same city for 2 years. He'll love that. That's things like he wants a home. And then he's gonna still make $5-6 million to play edge. He's not gonna have to play every down. He could be a rotational guy, passing situation guy only, whatever, like Woody would say. Hey, bring this guy in on passing situation. He's great.
But what would you rather do though? Pay a 30? How old is Yannick? 29, 30 years old?
28, 29 this year, yeah.
28. Would you want to pay a younger guy a little bit more than what he's worth, or pay a 29 going to be a 30-year-old guy that's can't stop the fucking run?
But Yannick, I think you need at this point though. At this point, he's gonna be 29 for Yannick. He's bridging the gap with your rookie. That's all he's doing.
And how old was Justin Jones?
Not worth. It doesn't matter how old he's worth. It's not worth $30 million for 3 years.
Oh, I would fuck that. But still,
I mean, if you paid him $30 million for 3 years, you have zero cap space. In fact, you might end up being negative. So, I think that was part of the equation. Is it's where can you put the assets, the money you've got, and
28.
He's 28.
28. Wow. All right, yeah. So, then I would take that chance on Yannick for $6 million.
And he kind of can be that mentor to Booker.
Yeah, that's
same with Sweat.
And look, and if Yannick works out and you can get him for $5-6 million a year for 2 years, even I think it's worth it. If you can get him into a 2-year deal, 2-year $15 million deal with some incentives that can make it worth 20, right? I think that would be worth it. I think he might do it just for the fact that he gets to stay solid in one place. And let's be honest, if he can make $5 million a year, even. Dude, $5 million is not like it's chump change, right? That's still a good amount of coin to set your family up and take care of your family. Because at the end of the day, got to remember, these guys need a job, and right now he's unemployed. So
27. I'm sorry.
So at this point, I think you would take. Hey, if I can make $5 million a year for the next 2 years and stay in Chicago, sure.
Yeah, because no one wants. It's like the door. His door is not knocking down from other teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's still there a week and a half, a week post draft. He's still sitting there without a job.
Yep. And I hope Montez Sweat's going to be a mentor. Hopefully, Keith Randolph he makes the roster, and there's a defensive lineman help depth. So
now
Montez Sweat, I'm telling you.
Speaking of some other options at money, we've only got a few minutes left. I'm going to throw this out there. Bakhtiari's out there, and he's going to be league minimum.
Nope.
Cheap. He's going to be. Hold on, let me finish up. League minimum cheap because the Packers are paying him $20 million.
No.
Yeah, but he's.
Do you want injuries on our team?
What's his best ability? It's not available.
Well, supposedly, and this is what Packer fans were talking about before they cut him. The knee surgery he had after week 1 corrected the issue that was lingering from the last knee surgery. And when he comes off this one, he's going to be healthy. Now, he played in one game last year, and the one game he played in, he had a perfect rating. So if you could get him on a league minimum contract being what? A couple $100,000 for a veteran league minimum, under $1 million. Why not take the flyer? Wouldn't that be low risk, high reward if he's healthy?
Yeah.
Plus
mentorship
mentorship to your young offensive linemen. And we do have a pretty young offensive
from Robert Kenyon thing.
Yeah,
but I know you can get injured on any play, but your multiple injuries. The doctor's saying, they fixed his injury from last year. I don't believe it. I wouldn't take a chance on him.
Didn't he say in this press conference one day last year? Didn't he say something about that? Is he was needing another surgery because there was leakage?
He said when he
left after head.
week 1, he said the surgery they did last time left some stuff behind, and they need to go back in and clean it up and finally repair this once and for all. And supposedly that's what happened. And I'm saying, dude, if I can get Bakhtiari on a league minimum, if nothing else than to be a mentor to the young offensive linemen we have on a league minimum, that's a pretty good flyer. Low risk, high reward.
A mentor, yeah, maybe.
Let me tell you, if you're an offensive lineman and your knees are shot or have to get cleaned out and shit like that, knees and shoulders are the worst, especially for an offensive lineman with your knees because you're bending down, you're going low and stuff like that. That's just me. I wouldn't take a chance on him.
I mean, I think he's going to go to the Jets anyways because him and Rodgers. But I mean, if you could do it on a league minimum flyer, why not? It's just all I'm saying.
Here's my opinion. If I'm getting Bakhtiari, I want him as an offensive line coach. That's about it.
I think line coach.
That's fucking great. I love it.
I mean, at the league minimum, though, that's pretty much what you're paying him to be, right? At the league minimum, you're pretty much paying him less than the coach.
But there's going to be a team out. There's going to be a team out there that's thinking same way as Ken. That's going to overpay for this guy because he is so great, blah blah blah, in his prime, and when he's not injured,
I'm
blah
not
blah blah.
Overpay, Woody. I'm not. I wouldn't overpay. I'm going to give him the league minimum. That's what.
Well, I know there's teams out there that are going to overpay for him.
I know
there's going to be a team out there.
I got one team in mind that's going to overpay him, and that's going to be Tennessee.
No, the Jets.
Rodgers or Denver.
Wants them. Yeah.
One thing.
So, guys, program note. Don't forget, we got 10 and 10 in the morning, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Central every day. Yep. Next Saturday, we will be having Halas Hall Report will be a huddle open mic night starting next Saturday. We're going to do that for some of the off season. Some old friends come back to join us. And don't forget, next Sunday to be right back here for Halas Hall, where Woody will probably be upset and having consternation about some issue with the New York Yankees and the state of Chicago Bears. And for next week, we will have an NFL schedule releases Thursday. So keep an eye out. Watch us on Friday on 10 in the morning. We'll be talking about it. But until then, guys, have a great weekend. Bear down.
Thank you.